Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, we're diving into something pretty radical today, all from our source material. What if telling the truth could actually be a lie? And what if telling a lie could be the truest thing you ever do? Sounds wild, right? Let's get into it.
So let's start with a question that, we all think we have the answer to. From the time we're kids, it's drilled into us. Tell the truth, don't lie. Seems pretty black and white. But what if it's not that simple? What if the real meaning is way, way deeper?
See, the source material we're digging into today argues that this whole idea of truth isn't just about the words coming out of your mouth. It's a state of being. This means a verbal lie could be an act of truth, and telling the literal, factual truth could be a huge, profound lie. It all comes down to the condition of your heart. And to really get this, we've got to look at a word we all know, but maybe not in this way: integrity.
All right, section 1, what is truth, really? And we're going to look at this through the lens of integrity, whole versus broken.
Okay, so when we say integrity, you're probably thinking honesty, right? But according to our source, it's something bigger. Think of it as being whole, like you're made out of one piece. It's when your decisions are totally, completely in sync with what your heart is telling you. That alignment, that wholeness, that's living in the truth. And here's a really cool way to think about it. The source uses this great analogy. The truth is like an integer, a whole number. It's complete. But the lie? It's not just saying something false. It's a fraction. It's a broken number. It's the act of breaking yourself, of betraying your own heart and splitting yourself in two.
And this state of being, whole or broken, it totally shapes our mindset. When you're whole, standing in that truth, you naturally have what's called a leadership mindset. You take ownership. You're responsible. But when you're broken, when you're in the lie, you shift into a followership mindset. You become the victim. You make excuses. You point fingers. You deny everything.
Okay, next up, a test of the heart. We're going to look at what's called the Amsterdam dilemma. This is where this whole abstract idea gets very, very real.
So, I want you to put yourself in this situation. The year is 1943. You're living in Amsterdam, but it's occupied territory. Fear is it's in the air you breathe.
Then there's a knock on your door. It's a Jewish family from down the street, and they have 3 kids with them. They're begging you to hide them. In that moment, your heart doesn't hesitate. It screams, yes. You know what the right thing to do is, and you do it.
A week goes by. Then, another knock. But this time, it's the one you've been dreading. You open the door, and there are German soldiers standing there.
And they look you right in the eye and ask, are there Jews hidden in this house? Now, what do you say? Your answer isn't just a few words. It's life or death.
Okay, this is the absolute core of the argument. Let's break it down. Option 1. You tell the verbal truth. You say, yes, they're in the basement. Why would you do that? Fear. And in that moment, you've betrayed your own heart. You are now standing in the lie. The consequence? A life haunted by regret and shame. Option 2. You tell the verbal lie. No, no one is here. In this case, your words are completely aligned with your heart's conviction to protect innocent life. You are standing in the truth. And the source argues that even if you get caught, this path brings peace, because you are whole, you didn't break. So you see, the crucial takeaway here is that truth, in this sense, has nothing to do with the factual content of your words. It's all about the condition of your heart, your real motivations deep down. Are you being congruent with what you know is right?
All right, let's move on. Section 3, reading what is written, or the scripture test. So let's see how this whole framework applies when we're not talking about life and death situations, but about how we interpret what we read.
The source brings up this proverb: it is the glory of Elohim to conceal a matter, and the glory of kings to investigate a matter. The idea here is that truth isn't always just sitting there on the surface waiting for you. Sometimes it's hidden on purpose, not to trick you, but to get you to actually search for it.
And taking that idea a step further, the source suggests that God intentionally puts what it calls soft traps in His Word. These are things that look like contradictions, or passages that are just really hard to understand. But they're not mistakes. They're there for a reason.
So what are these traps testing? It's not your IQ. It's not about how smart you are. It's a test of the condition of your heart. How you react when you hit one of these difficult spots says everything about why you're reading in the first place. And this basically sorts readers into 2 camps. First, you have the truth seeker. Their motivation is simple. They just want to know what the text actually says, even if it messes with their worldview. They'll dig deep, study the original language, whatever it takes. Then you have the confirmation seeker. Their motivation is fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of what other people will think, so they just skim the surface, looking for anything that confirms what they already believe.
And let's be real, being a truth seeker is not the easy path. It means you have to be willing to change your mind, to maybe adjust your entire self-image. You might risk your reputation, your income. You might even lose friends or family over it. It's about enduring that short-term pain for the sake of what's true.
Which brings us to our final section, the final question. What do you seek?
So ultimately, this whole explainer boils down to one really personal question. When you study, when you read, when you learn anything, are you searching for the truth, or are you just searching for confirmation? Because according to this source, every time we seek knowledge, the condition of our own heart is what's really on trial.